What is up, Digi people? Thanks so much for coming back to the channel. This is your favorite Digi Daddy Justin coming at you with a deck profile. Looking at Mastemon today. For the little few people that care about the Mastemon in the competitive format, I'm with you. You are my people. So let's talk about it. So we're going to get started with the eggs here. We're going BT21 Nyaromon. So at first, I was only going to run this because I really wanted to run Salamon, the BT16 Sala. But the more I ran this and the more I actually used its effect, the more I really liked how it synergized with the deck. And we can kind of talk about it more when we get to the other pieces. But yeah, so BT15 Nyaro. For the rookies, we're going for Patamon. And by the way, this is going to be as competitive as I can make it. I know I made a deck profile earlier, maybe a month or two ago, and it was kind of a meme, but I've really tried pretty hard to make this as competitive in the format as I can right now. We're in BT21, and there's a lot to contend with, but we'll get to talking about that. So the BT14 Patamon, that's the all-star rookie. If you know, you know. It is just a powerhouse of a rookie. It lets you evo for free almost every time. If you get the evo off from the security, you're evolving for +1 at least, right? It's +1 memory. Just great. It's just gas, right? We got 3 BT15 Salamon. I don't actually see anyone running these anymore. Even Angels, I feel like it's kind of scarce, right? But I like it. I've been using the effect a lot lately, and like I was kind of scared to at first, just because it's like, why would I get rid of my own security? But it again synergizes really well with the deck, and I have more control over what's going into security and what's coming out of security. And I also really like the inherited. It's all turns. Whenever security is removed, you -2k, and that catches people off guard. And then in a pinch, if you're low on security, you can always recover, start a main. So yeah, I've been really liking that one. I'm only running 2 of the BT16 Salamon, the whole reason I was running the egg to begin with, but I'm only running 2. They do come in clutch, starter main, and on play. I feel like, I don't know, I'm coming from a Purpurial standpoint, right? In Virus Purpurial, you can just hard play your rookie and go all the way up. But with this, it doesn't synergize with the Mirai as much as I'd like it to. If it was a Holy Beast itself, that'd be kind of cracked, right? But it's not. So it's still really good. Start a main, you can evo from your trash. But yeah, so we're just sticking at 2. And then we have 2 Floodgates. So I have 1 of Psychmon. Does not evo on the egg, but with the Mastemon, you have so much recursion. And you'll see that when we get there later. And then 1 Tapirmon. I was running Pillamon in this spot, but Pillamon hinders yourself, and there are things that can impact the meta, but I feel like the Tapirmon, like especially into like Galaxy matchup, or even to some degree the Sakuya matchup, Tapirmon kind of just stops them, right? So these are our rookies here. We're running 11 rookies. For a Mastemon build, that's kind of outrageous if you're used to building Mastemon. I found that the more I push to like a conventional rookie lineup, the more I've really liked the consistency. I'm not having any problems searching or withdraws. I draw a lot, actually, even without the Tokamon egg, surprisingly. And so yeah, I haven't bricked as much with the rookie count going up, so I'm about it. We're moving on to our level 4s here, and don't worry, I'll give a snapshot of the whole deck profile when we get to the end. So we're at level 4s. We got of course the Searcher Gato from the starter deck, the best searcher in the whole deck for sure. Reveal top 3, grab a yellow and purple Digimon. And then we have that crazy reduction, right? You can reduce into an Angel, Archangel, Fallen Angel for 2 less. It is yeah, it's a mandatory 4 of, in my opinion. That's no ifs, ands, or buts. I think if you're playing Mastemon, that is your go-to for sure. And then obviously Inherited is end of turn DNA. That's pretty straightforward. I'm running 3 BT21 Gatomon. I know a lot of people, curiosity, especially and now High Score Chef, I've noticed more and more people are running the Structure Deck 21 Gatomon. That one is a security Gatomon. It pops out. It can give two Digimon -1 security. Yeah, so I get that, and it's obviously a good card. I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer here. I just find that this helps me with memory control. Barrier as an Inherited is really, really good, especially when you're scared to swing with your Mastemon Ace. And then also the when trash effect. Although it's not super easy to get it into a location where you know where it is and trashing it, it is possible. Very possible, especially with the Patamon or even with our new Mastemon. You can put Digimon to the top or bottom of security, and then you would end up trashing the top. So if you put it to the top, you trash the top, you can play it, and it'll trigger your Mirai, it could trigger a bunch of stuff. So I really like it at 3, and that's kind of where we're sitting. I have 2 of the EX6 Searcher Gatomon. I used to have this higher, but I feel like, I don't know, I kept bottom decking Gatos that I needed or rookies that I needed. Like if I have no rookie opening hand and I just slam this Gato, I can't pick up any of my rookies unless I run like a Luxmon, but a Luxmon doesn't really fit that well in this deck. So yeah, I was contemplating. I do like the search for Mirai, but you know, we'll get to it later, but I've actually gone down on my Mirai count, but we can talk about it later. So I'm gonna go 1 Angemon and 1 Devimon. These are pretty straightforward. This one is the bottom security, a virus, comes in clutch a lot, and it can evo over Pata. Also, you can recover on deletion both the itself and then the Inherited, so that's nice. And then the 1 Devimon for Rush, coming in at the end. If you don't have Alliance, you have Rush. That's pretty straightforward. So running 11 champions. I wish I could go up. I think 12 champions would be the sweet spot, especially for the Patamon, or at least having 11 targets. I mean, Patamon can't. Patamon can't target the Devimon, but yeah. So that's kind of where my thoughts are on that. The deck space is super tight. Moving on to the level 5s here. We're going 3 of the BT11 Lady Devi and 3 EX6 Lady Devi. This one is really, really great recursion. And then you have the retaliation. That doesn't come up too much, honestly. You'd rather see like a blocker or scapegoat is really good too. But yeah, this is more for, throwing pieces into the trash and bringing back pieces. More so bringing back pieces because we don't need anything in the trash anymore. While it is a purple deck and a Mastemon deck, we're not really trying to get things in the trash anymore, which is why we can play yellow. Anyway, that's just my own thoughts. And then the Lady Devi, you can play your mirrors from trash. I just talked about we don't need things in trash, but if they are, you can play your mirror from trash, and that's kind of nice to have. Retaliation on body is nice. It is another Lady Devi that is a 6K, and that's what we want. And the scapegoat is actually really good in a lot of circumstances. So yeah, those are pretty kind of straightforward. So we'll just move those up here. I'm actually only going 1 Angemon from BT11. I know a lot of people are running this higher because of the blocker. The Wind Digivolving effect is okay. I do actually prefer the memory gain that you get from these two from BT11 when you play the counterpart or a Mirai, but I don't know, I feel like the other pieces, the other Angemons are kind of just more, I don't know, I feel like the deck necessitates these more. Yeah, so I'm running 3 EX6 and 3 BT15 Ace. And the reason why is because this just helps synergize with what I'm trying to do, trash security, and if I can trash top or bottom. And so if I know that the Gato that I put for my Patamon is right there at the bottom, then I just bring it out. And then usually if I'm at the right level of security, I just recover it back with the Angemon. So 3 of these for consistency is really nice. 3 of these to play the Mirais from my hand is really nice, as well as if I have a Mirai, stunning something basically. Really, really, really good in the Magna matchup. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. And the blocker is nice to have. I just don't feel like, I don't know, there's just a lot of things that I don't necessarily need blocker for. especially when I have aces. And yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of what my thoughts are. But I do get why people run more of that BT11. So we're going to move on to level 6. Okay, so for level 6s, I'm running 4 promo Mastemon. I have 2 ace, 1 starter deck, and rounding out level 6s, I have a Shadow Seraphie ace. So if you notice, I don't have any Dominimon. Listen, okay, I'm going to get on a soapbox real quick. If you run Dominimon, I get it. It is a fantastic card. It has great protection, and it's just a great card all around. I have no complaints about the card itself. But if you want to run Dominimon, like at that point in a Mastemon deck, you're running just a worse version of an Angel deck, in my opinion. Like, I know that's controversial. I know I'm probably stepping on some toes, and I'm sorry, but like, lean into Mastemon. Like, Mastemon can stand on her own right now. This is a fantastic card. Okay, like, just it's so much gas. Like, I don't even know how to explain without playing in front of you, but it is an incredible card. You have your own protection built in with Lady Devi. It's not as great as Domini, obviously, but if you want to run Domini, just run the Great Angels deck. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but this is a tech card. It's not relied on. It's nice when it comes up, but I don't expect to see it. It's here mostly for the Megidra matchup. Now that I know what it does, the Megidramon, I know that this is going to come in handy. De-digivolving that stack is a detriment to it. Starter deck, I like the one of, mostly because I have an SP and I don't want to not play it. But it is a good card. It can play your aces from trash, which promo cannot. And I've noticed there's a lot of online games that people are not reading that correctly, and they play their aces from trash. It's like, bruh, this is a 6K, okay? 6K is the limit. So this is another way to play those. And then I have a 2 ace. I really like now that because we have promo, these are true aces. You're not looking to go offensive with these. Obviously, if you have to, you have to, but these can like rest in your hand and be real aces, and that is just adding more benefit to the Mastemon deck. With a promo, it's just great. I don't know what to say, man. Like, the recovery is great. You can pick anything on the field, put it into your security, and still trash your opponent's security. So you can recover twice, essentially, in one turn. And if you want, it's optional. You don't have to. If you want, you can trash your security to play out a body. And start swarming the field. And then the fact that you can do that when attacking is just stupid. It is crazy. In my opinion, there is no room for Domini here, and I'm sorry if that ticks you off, or if you feel like I'm being controversial. I know I am. I know it. I know I'm in the minority here. I think a lot of people run Dominimon, but this is a true Mastemon deck, and this is where we're focused. So these are my level 6s. We can move on to level 7. I only have 2 level 7s in the deck. Death X is a meta call for sure. I think there are a lot of decks that go wide. I say a lot. There are strong decks that go wide. Not too many, but there's strong ones. You could get caught like by surprise with a Bloomlord at this current meta. Like, bro, Bloomlord has some gas. If you haven't played that recently, like the updated versions are crazy. Sakuya can go wide if they really want to. Jessamon goes wide. All these decks that have a ton of Tamers, like Hunters and Crossheart, and Gammamon ends up having a ton of Tamers, and like all of these decks that have Tamer reliant pieces, you know, that's going to reduce your Death X, and de-digivolving is just really nice to have. It is definitely a meta card, meta call, and yeah, it's really actually, it helped me in our last box tournament. I think I used it 2 or 3 times, and yeah, it's just really, really good, especially in the Jessamon matchup, which is on the channel. The only way I could get past all his blockers is if I de-digivolved him, and that's how I won. Ordinimon is less about removal, and it's more about going for game. So usually in most scenarios, I swing, and I can't close out game without passing turns. So this is the solution to that. Just having this in your hand until you're ready to go for game. Just DNA, swing. If you are in a pinch, obviously you can mash recover, but it's less used for that nowadays, especially because everything has protection from deletion, and is more used to just go for game. So those are my level 7s. So as I mentioned before, I'm only doing 2 and 2. I've gone down on the Mireis. I used to do 3 here and 2 here, but this has proven to be so important at all times of the game. So like this is good for comeback. If you're late game and you need to come back, you could just, all you need are those 2, and you could hard slam a Holy Beast or even a Devimon and just combo off, right? Evil from trash, and then you can suspend to play one from your hand and end of turn DNA with a Mirei. But that's good at late game. This is good like all game, all aspects of every turn. Like this is gas. So if anything, I would like if because deck space is so tight, I can't add any, but if I could, I would add more Mirei. So if anything, I'd even take one of these and put it here. That's how good this Mirei is. There's a reason why it's like 70 to 80 bucks right now. It is crazy. And this is what, like 17, something like that. Man, I don't know. It's a really good card, and I usually don't have a problem seeing them. But to round off our deck list, we got 1 Chaos Degrade. I know that our Mastemons pretty much do the same thing, but if you have a Digimon sitting in front of you that is immune to Digimon effects, this is your out. This is your out. Especially if you, even if it's not immune to Digimon effects, if you have a Digimon in front of you like Medieval Gallantmon, you can't play your deck. Like, there's a lot of things that you're gonna hard play, especially if you have the combo going here. Like, there's a certain point where you're gonna have to let them do their effect, especially when it comes to like the end of turn. So you can do all your on plays and everything, but they're gonna end up popping one of your pieces and stopping you. So this is kind of your only out. And so that's kind of how I think about it, as well as, you know, obviously Security Bomb is nice too, but just the one of, I think is perfectly fine. You're not reliant on this anymore. You don't need it in security. It's nice when it gets hit, but it is just a meta call. Yeah, so I'm just gonna throw up the whole deck list now on the screen. If you have any questions, or if you want to argue with me in the comments about this, feel free. I'll respond. Don't worry. No, we can have a discussion. It's just totally cool. I'll have in the description our Discord. If you really want to talk about it, hit us up. Our Discord is open. I would love to have discussions about Mastemon. So yeah, let's chat about it. I think that this deck is not tier 1. That's there's no arguing, right? There's no arguing there. So if you really know what you're doing, you know, every turn is very intentional, and you know the meta, you know your matchups, like you can make some real dents in this meta. I think that with the recursion that Mastemon gives you, you could really play to the strengths of Mastemon and play to the weaknesses of your opponent. So like, just an example, I was, and I don't even run Pillamon anymore, but when I had Pillamon, I had to keep recycling it so that my opponent couldn't play out their Invisimons, and those were going to be super detrimental if they came out. And so instead of going wide like I really wanted to, I had to keep recycling my Pillamons, and it really helped, honestly. And there's just certain things that you can keep doing. You can keep recycling. Against Adventure, I was recycling Psychomon a couple times. Against Royal Knights, you do the same thing, recycle Psychomon. If you remember the Nationals a year ago in LA, where Peter got second, the guy he lost to, he was playing security control, the guy he lost to was an Anubis player. I've never seen anyone that Anubis player was playing so out of his mind. He wasn't playing to what Anubis wanted to do. He was playing to the weaknesses of his opponents. The strat for Anubis, if you aren't unaware, before it was limited, was to discard cards, play out Merva, and ramp up a wide board while popping everything on your opponent's side, giving him rush and swinging. That was Anubis' goal. But with the match, he kept playing Black Gatos bottom, so like he would send vital pieces from trash to the bottom of security. He would play out Psychomons to prevent Death X. All of those tech cards came in clutch for the championship, and that's kind of how you have to think if you want to be competitive. Honestly, you can overcome your own weaknesses by exploiting your opponents. Does that make sense? And so just keep that in mind while you're playing Digimon in general, not just Mastemon, but especially with against certain decks when you feel like you don't have the upper hand. Like there's ways to exploit weaknesses, and when it comes to tech cards, you gotta really leverage though. Yeah, this deck is very high ceiling and honestly a high floor. It's not an easy deck to play. It's not for the faint of heart, for sure. It's also not cheap, so if you're gonna go Mastemon, you know, learn how to play it and you're gonna enjoy it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got, and I hope you enjoyed this. We'll be coming out with some more deck profiles for sure. I know, especially after the regional, when we're not giving away all the sauce beforehand, we'll have some more to give, and yeah, so be on the lookout for that. But have a good one.